Do you remember when Donald Trump was running for president back October 26, 2024, right before we voted for him? Eggs and gas prices out of control. Crooked Joe and the radical left destroyed affordability. That's right. The left, the president, solely responsible for egg and gas prices, y'all. Destroying affordability for hardworking Americans. It's a total scam on day one. Day one, y'all. I'll slash prices because the president could do that. Hey, Biden could have done that. Biden could be doing that right now, but he's not. But as president, day one, cheaper eggs, y'all, cheaper gas. Believe me. Promises made, promises kept. On day one, I'll slash prices so fast, it'll make their head spin. My head's still spinning, y'all. Big oil, big farms, they'll listen to me, not lobbyists. No more rip-offs, MAGA. Yay! Yay, finally, folks, day one. Gotta get this shit taken care of. Even Republicans said it. Remember this?
It'll all happen very quickly.
So quickly.
This will rapidly drive prices down, lower interest rates, and put more money into the pockets of American consumers. Mm-hmm. It'll also bring your grocery bill way down. I have more complaints on grocery. The word grocery, you know, it's sort of simple word, but it sort of means like everything you eat.
It does mean that.
The stomach is speaking.
Yeah.
It always does.
Does.
It'll all happen.
You're going to break it down. Day one, Trump got this fucking shit solved. And what's that? U.S. inflation heats up to 3%. First time since June. What? How is this possible? He promised day one. He promised the president responsible for egg prices. He said, y'all, and then look at this. Egg prices were $2.21 when he said that. Now they're $8.11. They went up like 4 times, 267%. Just since he said that in October. Well, at least, like, look, he didn't keep his word. I'll admit to it. But at least, if there's one thing I know about Trump, is that he's taken full fucking responsibility for this whole thing. The buck stops with Trump. And he's got a plan. What's that? Oh, no, he tweeted out, Biden inflation is up, folks. That's what he just tweeted out. Just yesterday. He got the inflation numbers, and he immediately went and blamed Biden. The guy that said he was going to fix it, day one. The guy that said it's the president's fault when this happens, now blaming Biden, who is no longer the president, for inflation. So, yep. What you gonna do? No responsibility. Nothing is ever his goddamn fault, and none of them actually care about any of this. So, what's the goddamn point? And then it's hard to even believe this shit's true, but it is. You can look it up. Donald Trump has halted a law banning bribery on foreign officials. Look it up, folks. Donald Trump has ordered the Department of Justice to halt the enforcement of U.S. anti-corruption laws that bars Americans from bribing foreign governments to win business. Yeah, he said it makes it too hard for American businesses to compete in all these corrupt fucking countries. So just bribe away, baby. Bribery legal again. It's what's for dinner. What could possibly go wrong with rewarding criminals? Making it legal for them to commit crimes. And yes, folks, exactly what you think this would lead to is what it led to. Now they're using the Justice Department to stop investigating criminals who have sucked up to Donald Trump. DOJ seeks dismissal of charges against the New York City mayor. Yeah, the corrupt mayor is taking bribes all over the place. He's been sucking up to Donald Trump. He's been saying, I didn't leave the left left me. Doing everything he can to get that Trump pardon. So suddenly, lawfare from the Trump administration, they'll either go after the people to make an example out of them, or if you suck up to them, you can do anything. You can get away with whatever crime you want to. There are no rules anymore. As long as you kiss Trump's ass, break the law with fucking impunity. Another example, shocking, the DOJ, the Department of Justice, drops criminal probe into Vince McMahon, husband of Linda McMahon, who is running the Department of Education. Yes, in this clownish, buffoonish existence we live in. The lady from the WWE is running the Department of Education of this country. And her husband, a weird-ass billionaire, Vince McMahon, famously known for shitting literally on women, don't have to worry about it anymore. When you're rich, they just let you do it. Not the only one. Oh, yeah, I agree with Emma Vigilante about Eric Adams. He deserves no sympathy and seems more willing to submit himself to it. But make no mistakes, this is blackmail by the Trump administration. What is he getting in return for them dropping the charges against him or not investigating him anymore? Well, apparently he's decided that he's going to work hand in hand with the Trump administration to deport all the Browns. Second, the pending prosecution has unduly restricted Mayor Adams' ability to devote full attention and resources to the illegal immigration and violent crime that escalated under the policies of the prior administration. This is a Democrat, folks, sucking up to Trump to get out of the criminal charges and then blaming Biden for immigration. Just breathtaking, the corruption of this. And then Steve Bannon pleads guilty in the We Build the Wall donor fraud case, but will do no time whatsoever, because of course he won't. And this is one of those items that proves that there is no line that Trump supporters would not cross to defend their side. The guy literally took donations to build the wall, stole it, and brought himself a boat with the stolen donations, folks. Then admitted to doing it. Imagine you're a Trump supporter and Fox News convinced you the biggest problem in your life is the southern border. So you give up some of your hard-earned cash and find out later some rich Trump crony used it to buy a boat. And then Trump doesn't stand up for you. He pardons the guy that stole your money and then you still support him. But this is why they do it. Because they know there's nothing they can fucking do that you guys won't fucking swallow. There's no shit they can't put in your mouth. There's no piss they can't pee in your fucking open hole that you won't fucking swallow. So why would they have any respect for you? They don't. Fucking Trump supporters will be like, good. I'm glad he conned us out of money. I'm glad he took the money and bought a boat. Hey, if he had to lie to us, con us out of money, steal all the money from a wall, if he had to do that to own the libs, I'll send him more money to own the libs. That's exactly how they think, folks. They love being abused. They don't actually care about anything. They have a fetish for being humiliated. And then, shockingly, people that hated lawfare using the DOJ to go after their political enemies. Pam Bondi just announced DOJ has filed charges against New York, Kathy Hochul, and Letitia James. Remember Letitia James, the prosecutor that went after Trump? Now they're going after them, folks.
I was in the West Wing swearing in Tulsi Gabbard, and so I just came straight back here. So thanks for being patient with us with the delay. We're here today because we have filed charges against the state of New York. We have filed charges against Kathy Hochul. We have filed charges against Letitia James and Mark Schroeder, who is with DMV. This is a new DOJ, and we are taking steps to protect Americans, American citizens, and angel moms, like the mom standing right behind me, who you're going to hear from in a moment. I was in
just crazy. Now, the reason they're going after them is they claim it's for sanctuary cities, but it's clear they're going after these people because these are the people that went after Donald Trump, and it's a classic mob move. Oh, you come after us? We're going to make an example out of you. You don't come after us. We go after you. And yep, that's what they're fucking doing, folks. Using the government to punish anybody who tries to actually follow the law and hold criminals accountable while they let all the fucking real criminals go. And apparently now also they're declaring it is fraud to be against Trump policies. They're specifically asking his spokesperson, hey, Elon Musk has not proved anything that he's cutting is actual fraud. Can you give us some examples? So she brought a bunch of examples, but the only examples that she gave were policies that Donald Trump disagrees with, policies that they call woke. But that's not fraud. Just because you don't like where the government is spending money, it doesn't make it fraud.
For the actual receipts, we are happy to provide them, and I actually brought some today because all of you know I love to bring the receipts. We have contracts upon contracts that we can send and provide this information to you. Let me be very clear. We are not trying to hide anything. We have been incredibly transparent, and we will continue to be. These are screenshots of contracts that DOJ found across our government.
They're not
this
fraud,
is a
though.
DEI contract, $36,000 for U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. That is against the president's policies.
Okay, but but just because it's against the president's policy doesn't mean it's fraudulent.
Is America First agenda. This is a $3.4 million contract, a Council for Inclusive Innovation at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, Department of Commerce, another DEI contract that DOJ identified.
Okay, but that's not fraud. Just because you don't agree with it doesn't make it fraud.
I can continue to go through these.
You could, but it doesn't make your fucking point. But yes, they're basically declaring that anything Trump doesn't agree with is fraud now. That's their definition of fraud. They could just declare something's woke, and then it's fraud. And then, folks, you know, the AP, the Associated Press, one of the most trusted independent news organizations in the world, one of the few ones you could actually trust to do a good job to even-handedly report the news. Well, they don't want that in the White House. They want yes men. They want mostly right-leaning propaganda outlets that will ask them softball questions and won't hold them accountable for anything. So they're trying to get as rid of as many reputable news sources as they can, so they don't have to be asked any questions. So the new thing they're doing is, if you refuse to call the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, they're booting you out of the press corps. AP statement: as a global news organization, the Associated Press informs billions of people around the world every day with factual, nonpartisan journalism. Today, we are informed by the White House that the AP did not align its editorial standards with President Donald Trump's executive order renaming the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. AP will be barred from accessing the event in the Oval Office this afternoon. AP's reporter was blocked from attending an executive order signing. So, yes, they're outright declaring now that if you refuse to follow Trump's orders and call whatever he renames the thing that he renamed, that you are lying, and they're going to punish liars by banning you from the press corps.
Reserve the right to decide who gets to go into the Oval Office, and you all have credentials to be here, including the Associated Press, who is in this briefing room today.
But isn't it retaliatory in nature is the argument, because the reason that the AP was barred, which they said was because they're not using the phrase Gulf of America, they're using Gulf of Mexico in line with their standards. And so the question here is this setting a precedent that this White House will retaliate against reporters who don't use the language that you guys believe reporters should use? And how does that align with the First Amendment commitment that you were just talking about?
I was very upfront in my briefing on day one that if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable. And it is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. And I'm not sure why news outlets don't want to call it that, but that is what it is. The Secretary of Interior has made that the official designation in the geographical identification.
So much for free speech. Where's Jordan Peterson about compelled speech? They're literally compelling your speech here. They're literally saying that if you refuse to call this made-up bullshit that Donald Trump did by the made-up name, we're going to punish you by taking away your freedom of the press. Of course, they don't actually give a shit about any of this, folks. Fakest goddamn people on earth. But this is scary, 1984-esque, no doubt about that. And then we are not a serious people. GOP House representative introduces a bill authorizing Trump to buy Greenland and rename it Red, White, and Blue Land. Oh, my God. This is why we can't have nice things, folks. This is the shit they're wasting goddamn time on. This is why you can't have fucking a kid because you can't afford it. This is why you can't buy a fucking house. And here's the White House lawyer demanding that the Trump White House basically has dictatorial powers and doesn't have to answer to the courts.
Separation of powers. It's a really novel idea, but our founding fathers created a document, the Constitution. There's a separation of powers for a reason. The executive branch is the ultimate authority on federal issues, and we have
literally is not. It literally is not. There's checks and balances. They have to listen to the court system. That's how the system's always fucking been. But they want to change things, folks, where he has complete goddamn power. And meanwhile, little schadenfreude, I guess, from the leopards are eating your face category. Hard to believe these people exist, but like honestly, I hate to say it, but you're too dumb to live, so just die.
What kind of poverty are you talking about with some of these kids?
You're going to.
I would be confident in saying that when they leave on Friday, they may not eat again until Monday.
Every year of her 28 years as an educator here, Blankenship fought for every dollar for her kids. A third of all of Bell County, Kentucky school district funding in 2021 came from federal sources. So this district is listening as incoming President Donald Trump pledges this.
One other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and sending all education and education work and needs back to the states.
Trump won this state. In Bell County, 84% voted for Trump, yet it deeply relies on federal funding.
Oh, shit.
A CNN analysis found the 15 states that most rely on federal funding for its public schools in 2022 all voted for Trump.
Yep.
And I voted for President Trump.
I did.
You're an educator. You didn't vote for Trump eliminating federal funds
No.
here.
Yes, you did.
I did not vote for that.
He did. He specifically said the whole goddamn time they were going to close Department of Education. They said it. So you didn't give a shit. Or maybe you was hoping that he wouldn't do what he said he was going to do. But you guys always say he does what he says he's going to do. Promises made, promises kept. So you knew, and you just didn't give a fucking shit. So eat your cat food and die, you fucking moron.
I voted for President Trump
Shocker.
to make America first again and to improve our lives.
Do you believe that he would cut funding?
I do not think that's what the voters want. If we have federal cuts, then that's going to mean bigger classroom sizes. I would lose teachers.
Good.
First and foremost.
Good.
It's devastating.
It is devastating, but it's what you voted for, because you don't really give a shit about the kids or this country. You just dumb as fucking dog shit. So maybe you should shut your mouth now, okay? Keep pouring gravy down your gullet, you fat motherfucker, and die of a heart attack quickly, please. I'm sorry, I don't mean to fat shame being a big fat motherfucker myself, but god damn it, I just can't help myself. And anyway, now over on the #1 cable news network in America, they're trying to convince the old folks that the unions are the bad guys.
The other thing is, for example, last night on CNN, the American taxpayer who's paying their salary. So a lot of these lawsuits and things where they're going to try to gum up the works and slow things down go back to government labor unions, and people ought to pay attention to that.
And they also dominate. I mean, they donate strictly to Democrats.
100%.
And Richard has a lot of late fees.
Yes, the unions, not the bad guys. Fear the unions. It's not the rich. It's not the oligarchs, the billionaires taking every penny. It's those trying to make sure you get a living wage that are your enemies, folks, in this backwards planet. And then, folks, I don't even know what to say about this. I'm not going to get into a bunch of detail. I don't know if you guys saw this one, but Nancy Mace, she's a moonbat, but also believe women. So I'm trying to keep an open mind about this. Went on the House floor and for an hour accused 4 men of drugging and raping her. No, I'm not making this up. One of them was her former, I guess, future husband. Her fiance, that's what I'm looking for. Her fiance. She claims that him and 3 men drugged her and raped her. Before she did it, though, she put out like these press releases saying that she was going to say all this on the House floor, but also letting people know that she has basically protection from slander and libel, because anything that she says on the House floor is protected, I guess, under free speech. I don't know if that's fucking true or not, but anyway, gave a whole long speech about how they raped her and whatnot. And then she shit on the attorney general of the state that it happened in, saying that she told him about it and he didn't do anything. And then he put out a statement saying she's 100% lying. She never mentioned any of this to them before in any way whatsoever. This is the first they're hearing of it. She doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. So anyway, weird as shit, y'all. I'm going to leave that one alone. And then Senate advances RFK Jr. in party line vote. It looks like he's going to be confirmed as our Secretary of Health later this week.